from me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this video might be the final Donald Trump Joe Biden election prediction from me based off the fact that Biden might step down. I know he put out a statement today, like a big letter saying he's staying in. But obviously, I mean, you've got people like Stephen King even coming out saying no, he needs to drop out. So this could be my final one. I have not done an official election prediction since over a month ago. I have been doing like Trump's best case scenario. Can Trump get to 400 electoral votes? Trump's chance to win every state. But I never did like a realistic, at least in over a month, Trump, Biden, RFK election prediction. And I will say when it comes to RFK, you do have to feel for him because if he had a good voice, and this is not me making fun of him, I'm being honest. Some of the stuff that RFK is saying, he basically goes to these town halls and he says, yes, the U.S. government killed two of my family that were, one of them was president, the other one was about to be president. He admits it, but it's like because of his voice, it's I think Kennedy would be a very interesting candidate if, he did not have that problem. But unfortunately, he does. Like, he could take advantage of Biden and this instability, him being like the only mainstream independent candidate we've had over the past like 20 years. But it's not going to happen. So I'll give my updated realistic election prediction. I don't think it's all going to, it's going to matter very much, especially if Biden gets removed in a week or 2 weeks. He steps down, whatever. Right now, he says he's not going to. But this would be my realistic prediction. You can see multiple different things we can use. This is the stuff I used yesterday, just taking a look at the different, odds on winning each state. You've also got Real Clear Politics. I pretty much know where the polling is right now, and I'll probably just shoot through this relatively quickly. So starting on the West Coast, you do have Washington. I think Biden's winning it, or whatever Democrat is, but right now it is Biden still running, so I think Biden's going to win that relatively easily. Pretty much 100% chance it's going to be dark blue. Oregon, I'll lighten it up a little bit, but I still think Biden's going to win. Obviously, California is going to be dark blue. Maybe Trump could keep it within 20, 18 possibly. You do have all the Trump states, obviously, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, Utah as well, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. You could lighten Texas if you wanted to. I just see no way Biden wins Texas. It's impossible. So if it's impossible, I'm going to keep it dark red. That's my opinion on that. Should I save the swing states? I'll save the swing states. I'll do all the easy stuff first because right now, Minnesota is a swing state. Trump, obviously, Alaska. Biden, obviously, Hawaii at this point. Biden, also Illinois for sure. We'll just do all the buy-in states. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, D.C., Maryland, although Delaware is getting closer. I'll lighten Delaware a little bit. Now, Delaware is Biden's home, but I saw a few polls that had it suggest it was like 5 or 4 points. So I can't go fully locked down for Biden, but I mean, it's 3 electoral votes, whatever. You do have New Jersey. Is New Jersey a swing state right now? If I'm going to do this realistically, I cannot say New Jersey is a swing state. I would need more polling. Now, we can definitely lighten it up some because there's some internal polling that says Trump leads by half point. There's other polls that have suggested Biden leads by 4, 5, 6 points. That's close enough to where we can lighten it up. And also you add on Biden's bad approval rating. Not only bad, historically bad. You have that. And by the way, did anyone see what happened with France last night? This is the most craziest thing ever. If you look at the videos, and maybe I'll do another video on it, but if you look at the videos, it literally looks like France has been invaded by Palestine. The socialists that won there, by the way, the conservative support is going up significantly. It went from 17% to 37%. I'm not going off on a tangent on this. Just look at the videos of what like the winners are doing. These people won, and there's just all Palestine flags, no French flags. They hate their own country. How do people vote for this? It literally looks like they've been invaded. It looks like the Soviet Union going into Berlin, planting the Soviet flag on top of the Reichstag. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's crazy. These people won, and they were rioting 2 weeks ago because there was polling that said they were going to lose. They were rioting because of polling, and now they win. They get their way, and they still riot, and they destroy the monuments with graffiti. I don't know how. I know it's a more leftist area, more leftist country. Europe is more left in general, but that's just crazy to me. I'm sorry. This is important. I need to do this. I know. You do have Connecticut, obviously. I don't know why I had it light there. Connecticut going there. Vermont. New Hampshire's a swing state at this point, so we're going to keep it like that. One of the districts, what district was it? Maine's first, I think, is pretty much guaranteed to go to Biden. And then Maine second would be going to Trump. And then the at-large would be the one that would be the swing state. And right now, Maine is a swing state. It's moved. When it comes to New York, I can't say in good conscience it's a swing state. I will lighten it slightly. The polling in New York suggests right now, Biden about 9 or 10 points, he's up. Maybe there's some more polling. We can get some updated stuff that's maybe it's closer, but I think it's going to be obviously very hard with a big population like that for Trump to flip all those voters unless it just gets so bad to where Biden continues to mess up. He has another horrible debate performance, but he's so bullheaded and he's just listening to to Jill and Hunter. Then you might get to the point where Trump gets 400 electoral votes. I'm not even kidding. Because obviously Biden is not listening to the strategists within the Democratic Party, which is good news for Trump. And it might even get worse for Biden. We will see. So right now, I would say those are all the safe states for Joe. I don't think I'm missing any. You do also have Colorado. So Colorado, I would say pretty light shade blue, but it has to be blue right now. And for Biden and for any Democrat, I would say that's a pretty accurate representation, not only of which states they should win, but also the shading of the states. There have been polls out of Colorado that say it's only a 2-point lead. You could say, well, it's a swing state. I think we need more polling to confirm that, honestly. There's been very limited polling out of that state. You do have Nebraska. Obviously, Trump's taking Nebraska at large, the third and the first. The second is the swing state. We'll talk about that later. You do also have Iowa going to Trump, Missouri, Arkansas. Obviously, I don't have to say anything about these states. Florida is a safe Trump state. He's not going to lose. There's zero chance. I'm not going to light shade it. There's no reason to. It's a lock. Ohio's a lock as well, so it's going to be dark red. Indiana, obviously these states as well. South Carolina, and I believe that is all the swing states that are left. So here we have it at 219. I think this is universally accepted where we're at right now in terms of what are the actual swing states. You could make the argument that New Mexico is not a swing state. There's internal polling that says it is. I'm going to give Biden New Mexico, but it's going to have to be at this point very light blue. You could argue maybe it's like a 5 to 6 point Biden lead, but there is some polling that says we just need more polling out of these states, honestly. Not that any of this really matters. Let's be honest. Biden's probably going to, have to drop out here soon, but moving on to some of these other swing states. So Nevada, you can take a look at the polls. I've shown the polls a lot. Trump is just up in every single one in Nevada. It's every poll, and it's normally by, look at New York Times 13, but no, it's normally by 5 or 6 points. I don't know how you could say under good conscience. I'm going to say a solid Republican victory there. Arizona, I believe, is actually even more in Trump's favor when you look at the polling. Oh, it's very similar. But Trump is winning every poll. I don't know. There's really not much to analyze at this point. You can say abortion, but it's not doing much. So Trump takes Arizona and Nevada by similar margins. I would say by 4 or 5 points. Maybe they tighten up a little bit. If you include all the candidates, it's going to be similar. So that puts Trump at 236. Kennedy still at 0. I always include Kennedy on here, but I just maybe, to me, if he wants an electoral vote, it would have to be New Hampshire, I think, is the one state because it's low in population and it's a swing state right now. Maybe Maine at large. That would be the other one, I think, for Kennedy if he wants to try and win one. Other than that, I just don't see it. You do have Minnesota, so, dude, it's very hard for me to pick Biden to win Minnesota. His numbers are just so bad, and I'm trying to be realistic. I really am. But based on the numbers, based on the polling, yes, Biden leads by 2, but Minnesota, traditionally, Trump only lost by 1 point. I know in 2020 he lost it by 10. Minnesota somehow rewarded, Biden and the Democrats for endorsing the BLM, the Antifa, where they burned the entire, Minneapolis was burned down. It was like looking at Austria after a bombing run. I'm not even kidding you. They've deleted a lot of the video, but you can see the city's just completely in ruins. But they rewarded the Democrats for that, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to say Minnesota slightly goes to Trump right now. You could argue it could go to Biden, but based off of all the internal metrics, Trump's favorability versus Biden's favorability, what we've seen recently, the idea that Minnesota, according to polls, is around a tie with very reliable polling, I'm going to say Trump wins it. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Right now, I would say Pennsylvania. These are all very close states for sure. Pennsylvania, I would say, is probably, in terms of the three, where Trump separates a little bit more than the other two Rust Belt states. If you look at Pennsylvania, Trump, I think that Bloomberg poll is, I don't think Trump is up by 7. There's a lot of inaccurate polling that they got. To me, I think they need to recalibrate or redo how they question people, because I mean, not only with Trump, but they've also said Biden leads in Michigan by like 5. It's false. So I don't even think Trump leads by 7. I'm admitting that it's lower than that. But still, if you look at all the recent polling, Trump is up there. The other two states, it gets a lot closer, but right now there is no way that I can say Biden wins Wisconsin or Michigan based off the Democratic infighting, all of it. So Trump wins both of those. He's at 290. So Trump should easily, I think, right now get over 300, possibly get around 320. You move on to Georgia. This is another state very similar to Nevada, Arizona. You can call it a swing state. Biden did win it in 2020 by like 100 votes or whatever because of the inner city crap. Basically every single poll. I mean, you can say, I mean, this Bloomberg poll isn't accurate. Again, I'm just saying, but Trump is winning. I don't know what you want me to say. It's not, Trump is winning every poll normally by at least 3-4 points outside of the margin of error. So I'm going with Trump to win Georgia in a relatively dark shade of red. North Carolina, I'm not even going to go to the polling there. Well, I guess because we're here, we'll go to it, but it's the exact same thing. Trump is winning every single poll. There is really nothing to talk about there. He won it in 2016. He won it in 2020. Yes, it was close, but he's going to win that state. So he gets to 322. We'll go to Nebraska's 2nd district next. I unfortunately do not think there is a ton of polling. There might be just that one poll. Or do they even have that poll on here? Oh, they don't even have that poll. That's great. But there was one poll that said, I think Biden was up by 3 or something. You can see, Trump was won by 2.5, then Biden wins by 7. You say that's a massive shift. It's obviously very small population, so it can shift a lot easily. But I would say that Trump takes it back for sure. I mean, we'll put it very light red because I don't have a ton of confidence. Obviously, that's the more liberal part of Nebraska. That's just how they do it with the districts. And then you are looking at Virginia, very similar to Minnesota. If Trump picks Youngkin, he's a lock to win this state. I don't think he's necessarily going to pick Youngkin. That's for the VP. But I am going to still say that right now it's going to be a very light shade of red for Donald Trump, a pure swing state. And then you also do have New Hampshire, and that's another one I am going to give to Donald Trump based off of a number of different things, along with statewide Maine. We will make that one lighter as well. So I do think this is a relatively realistic prediction. I know liberals will say, well, there's no way Trump's going to win Minnesota, Virginia, New Hampshire. This is why it's so bad for Biden and the Democrats. I'm just going to play around with this. Let me just show. This is my prediction right now. It's 342 to 196. That's on record. That's fine. And the shades are very accurate, I think. But let's just say that Biden does hold on to win Minnesota. Biden wins Virginia. And Biden wins New Hampshire. I mean, you still have Trump at 315. Biden's still way, way away. That's why for Biden, he has to run the table. Let's just give Biden all of the Rust Belt and see Trump still wins with 271. That's why that's with Biden winning all of the Rust Belt, winning New Hampshire, and that's why these districts are so important, like Nebraska 2nd. But to me, this is just so unlikely. I just don't think it's going to happen at all in terms of Biden winning those states. Now, maybe the sentiment gets better. I guess we'll just have to see. But either way, I would say this could be another realistic scenario where Trump wins Minnesota but loses Virginia, or vice versa. That could also happen. Biden could still very easily win New Hampshire. They are going to rally around Biden. I have talked about the disaster scenario where they lose all the states I just mentioned. I'm talking about the Democrats lose all the states I just mentioned, and they lose New Jersey, and they lose New Mexico, and then possibly also lose Delaware as well. That's a disaster scenario for the left. I don't think it's going to happen. You know what? We're going to give RFK New Hampshire as a shout out. But no, honestly, that prediction where I had Trump at 342, that is my prediction right now. Not that it matters. I think Biden's gone. He's going to be dropping out. Oh, that's my guess. I know he put out a statement, said he wasn't going to, but at this point, I think that is relatively accurate. Trump at 342. That's, to me, his high water mark, but you could also include probably New Mexico as the next state that could potentially go to Trump. And even in a scenario where Trump splits the Rust Belts and just wins Pennsylvania, because right now he's up significantly, or not significantly, but up by like 4 points in Pennsylvania, it's still a very easy Trump victory. Trump just has so many more paths than Biden. For Biden, he has to. And this is why I think if they do go with Harris, whether or not Whitmer would want to be the VP, I think they are going to be, it's going to be desperation mode with either Whitmer or Josh Shapiro, 100%, because they need that presence in the Rust Belt. They know the only way they can win is through the Rust Belt, because now they've lost Florida. They're going to lose Georgia. They're going to forfeit that state. They're going to stop investing money into it. They're going to forfeit North Carolina. I think they'll still put a lot of money in Arizona. They'll probably put some money in Nevada. But for them, it's going to be winning all the Rust Belts by very slim margins, holding on to Minnesota, trying to win Nebraska 2nd District, and then also trying to win those 2 states, Nevada, Arizona. That, to me, is their path based off of all the recent polling. And then obviously also holding on to New Hampshire, trying to win a 50-50 statewide Maine. That would be the situation, I think. I have not seen any updated polling. I don't know if there's... I'll just react to the recent polling if there is any polling that was released on Monday morning. No, we still have the Saturday crap there. And so, yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this video because there's no polling updated. But, yeah, guys, that's basically what it is. We'll see if Biden ends up dropping out. It is July 8th right now, and that would be my prediction. It's not this prediction. I changed it a little bit. But when Trump at 342 would be my prediction right now. You could argue maybe only 316. I think his low water mark is probably around 300. All the polling suggests it. Democrats are admitting it at this point. They want Biden gone. They know he's going to lose. Top Obama advisors admit on CNN that Biden is going to lose. He needs to drop out. It's over. And there's this power struggle. And now it's a divided Democratic Party. And they've already overplayed their hand. The cat is out of the bag. They want Biden gone. Now if they try and turn it around no, we love Biden, he's fine, it's going to be even worse for them. This is catastrophic. This is a total mess. And if it's still fractured, which I don't think it's going to be, but if it's still fractured come election time, Trump will get around 400 electoral votes, at least 342. That's my prediction. And you're talking about New Jersey being in play. You're talking about Delaware being in play, New Hampshire. I know Delaware's Biden's home state. Not that it matters. It's 3 electoral votes, but I'm just saying these states are going to be in play. Colorado being in play. I haven't even talked about it. Maybe even Oregon with the polling that suggests maybe Biden's only up by 2 or 3 points. Not that I buy that polling, but if it keeps getting bad and the Democratic Party is fractured down the middle where you still have Biden loyalists and you have people that say, no, he's not winning. This is a total joke. No independents are going to vote for a vegetable. This is the huge issue that they're facing. And so that's why I've got Trump at 342 right now. That is to right now his high water mark, but also you might want to include New Mexico. His high water mark might be 350. His low water mark is around 300. That's with Biden taking 2 of the Rust Belt states, but I would say this would be worst case scenario right now for Trump. You could also say, well, what if he loses all of them? He'd still get around 280 electoral votes and win easily. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.